Warriors and Hawks. Golden State trying to get rid of a 53-point headache from Friday. First, Curry. How's my range? I'm good from out here, right? Yeah, Warriors tie the game at 24. Atlanta won in Oakland 10 days ago. The Dubs are on a bit of a bad slide. They've won by 3 going to the fourth. In the fourth, Hawks still down a point. Bogdanovic from behind the arc swishes that one through. Hawks lead at 100-98. All right, 18 rebounds. The Hawks now 12-4 playing Nate McMillan basketball. That's right. They win at 1.
You just kind of give a bigger picture view of where you're at right now on this season after obviously what was, a disappointing road trip.
We have 5 hours on the plane to think about it. We were really looking forward to bounce back tonight. Didn't happen. Frustrating for a lot of reasons. But, we got another game Tuesday against a great team. Got to be able to show up, compete, see what happens. 20 whatever games, 23, 22, whatever it is. Still a good amount of time, but you cannot play the way that we've played the last, significant stretch and expect things to change. So it kind of is what it is. We gotta make the necessary adjustments. It sucks right now. Losing sucks. It's a terrible feeling. In the locker room, we don't really have much to smile about, and it's kind of the vibe right now.
Steph, as a group, how do you fix the fouling problems?
I don't know, man. It's like the 20th time we get asked that question. We haven't figured it out yet. So it's on all of us to hold each other accountable to the details of being in the right position, the bucket. At least you can kind of come back and the game has a better flow to it and you're not giving up free throws. Or putting yourself in the penalty where it changes your aggressiveness. If you get 4 fouls in the first 3 minutes, you're playing 9 minutes where you have that in the back of your mind, and that takes away any type of, aggressiveness on that end of the floor. So it's kind of a double whammy. You give up free throws, but you also change the strategy of your defensive presence, and that's tough.
More fouls than assists. Why do you think fouls were such a trouble spot tonight?
If I knew, Kareth, I would give you the answer, but we talk about it every day. Talked about it before the game, talked about it at halftime, but it's as simple as that. We lost the game because we fouled over and over and over again.
Where would you list that among the biggest issues with this team this season? Is that number one?
It was number one tonight. Every night's a little bit different. We've had rebounding issues. We've had games where we had turnovers that hurt us, but we've been consistently bad in the free throws allowed category. I think 20 anywhere from 27th to 30th pretty much all year, and it's just extremely frustrating because it's something we work on every single day, and it's tough. It's tough to watch, and it's tough to see a game like that where our guys, really play hard and get after it and compete, play together. Their spirit, their energy was all good, but the lack of discipline killed us, and that's the bottom line.
James only got one stint per half. It seemed like he actually, he did some good stuff tonight. Why didn't you go back to him in either half?
Those were the matchups that we liked, and I thought James played really well. I thought Loon played well, and I thought Draymond also, at the 5 gave us some open floor, and so I thought all 3 rotations in terms of who was at center were really good.
Steve, obviously Steph's numbers were really good, but do you notice that the injury is hampering him at all on either end of the floor?
Well, he's wincing. He's wincing a little bit here and there, so you can see that he's in some pain. he wasn't at his best tonight, and it's the sign of a pretty amazing player when a guy has 37 points and you say he wasn't at his best, but that's the bar that Steph has set for himself. His turnovers were obviously an issue tonight, but I thought Steph competed like crazy, and he's giving everything he can, and he did everything possible for us to win. And in fact, I think as I said, I thought the whole group competed and everybody played hard and together, but we fouled, and that's the bottom line. We fouled too much, and that's why we lost.
Steve, their bench was a lot better than your bench tonight. Was there any thought to, possibly altering rotations at any point?
No, we played well, and we controlled the game, and we fouled. So that's it.
To be honest with you, I don't go into these games thinking like, man, we need to win these games to get the playoffs. Like, I hate losing. So when I step on the floor, I want to win. But I'll be 100% honest with you. Fighting for a play-in spot does not motivate me. We're in, 10th? Fighting for a playoff spot doesn't motivate me at all.
Of course, multiple-time champion. Max, what do you think Dre's really saying here?
He's saying that if there's no championship on the line, it's hard for him to get motivated. He's saying that he knows that this team has no shot at the chip this year. This is not like baseball or football where just get in the dance, right? As long as you make it to the playoffs, who knows? It's kind of random. That's one of the things that makes baseball and football postseasons exciting. The best team doesn't always win. Basketball's different. The reason basketball has always been more barbershop talk than football or baseball, more like boxing, Stephen A., is because in the end, it's more determinative. It's not as probabilistic. If you have the best players, maybe your team and one or two other teams are most likely to win. What's crazy about this season is how many teams seem to have a lot of the best players. So we're like, Nets, Lakers, if they're healthy, but there's a lot of real challengers. What Draymond's saying is we're not one of those teams, not without Klay Thompson. And he's right. This Warriors team, minus Klay Thompson, is not a championship contender. So it's hard for a dude like Draymond Green to get excited. There are some teams in the NBA like the Lakers. Kobe used to say, if we don't win a championship, that's not a good season for us. They want to win the championship every year. Draymond's coming off a dynasty where they were the favorites or among them to win the championship every year for half a decade. They won several, and he was on maybe the greatest team ever, one of them, and he's saying, like, this ain't that. Talk to me next year.
Draymond Green is saying, we play 82 games normally, this year 72 regular season games. If you can't definitively be a playoff team over 72 games, what the hell are we playing for? We don't belong in the postseason. As you would say, we ain't ready. They're 23-25, okay? Having said all of that, I want to completely and totally applaud what he said in terms of his attitude. This is a 3-time champion. A man who's went to 5 straight NBA finals. Now, I know he's only averaging 6 points and 6 rebounds right now, shooting 26% from the field. And in the interest of fairness, just like I mentioned about Russell Westbrook, Draymond Green's another dude that needs to improve his 3-point shot. All right, which he knows because I've told him that constantly, okay? Because I love the brother. I know he's a basketball savant. I know what he can do on the defensive end of the floor. I know he's a great point forward, et cetera, et cetera. But he's another dude that needs to improve his 3-point shot. The difference between him and others is he's got 3 chips, okay? And 5 trips to the NBA Finals. So it's a little bit different for him because that ain't his role. I'm just saying that the Golden State Warriors would be significantly more lethal even now if Draymond Green was a threat from the perimeter, specifically the 3-point range, because he gets open shots. And if he would have buried them, instead of hitting 26.8% of it, I think Golden State would have a better record than 23-25. But I think it's important to point out what he's saying because, again, not to sit up there and belabor the point that I was making about Russell Westbrook the other day, but it's worth reiterating. Russell Westbrook is a future Hall of Famer. the greatest athletic point guard we have ever seen in the history of basketball. And he has the numbers to support that he's going to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame when his career is over, okay? But when you're going up against Steph and you're going up against Dame in the Western Conference, as you were before this season throughout your career, there's a reason that them brothers are what they are right now, because the game and how it has evolved. If you are a point guard that has sniper-like tendencies, it can elevate you to elite status, the likes of which we're seeing from them now. Damian Lillard is a top 2 MVP. And let me tell you something. If James Harden takes too many days off, which he won't do, or if he scales back because Kevin Durant returns and Kyrie returns all the time, Damian Lillard's going to win league MVP because he's been sensational. We're talking Russell Westbrook, another triple-double last night. But they lost by 29. And all I'm saying is that when Draymond Green says stuff like that, when we see champions or those who aspire to be champions, that's the kind of language we want to hear. We don't want to hear championships. You know what? I'm a champion in life. We know he's a champion in life. We're talking purely about the game of basketball. In the game of basketball, that is not the case, even though your talents demand you should be, because Russell Westbrook is so great, he should be a champion.
What you're saying about Draymond is 100% true about hitting threes. It's not coincidental that before KD ever got there, the year they won 73 games, Draymond was hitting 39% from three. Right, and he hasn't been anywhere near
What about
that.
what he did in Game 7 that
he
they lost?
He would have been Series MVP. He would have been fine.
MVP.
Had it not been for LeBron,
That's right.
Draymond was going to be Finals MVP.
Absolutely.
He was great that year. But all year he's hitting 39% from three. That's not coincidental that was the year they won 73 games. So what you're saying, of course, is true. Even about Westbrook, if Westbrook shot 40% from three, he'd be in the conversation for the greatest player of the era instead of just in the top 10 greatest players of his era, right?
Absolutely.
So, of course, that's true. What I peel from Draymond, from what he's saying is simply, I'm a championship player, and more importantly, this is a championship franchise and team. We don't get excited if we don't think it can win a championship. They're waiting for Klay's return.
That's what you want.